We won. Certainly didn't play well at all. We did about everything we possibly could do wrong in the first half. A lot of penalties, a lot of drops. Defense did a really good job in the first half. They had field position the whole time because we couldn't get any first downs, and we just didn't play well at all. But we came back in the second half. We still had way too many penalties, but we did catch the ball a little bit better. KJ started making some plays. Defense, I thought the rush got to their quarterback a little bit, and he threw us 3 interceptions, which was big. We got a lot to improve on. I told the team that we were going to face adversity, but I didn't know it was going to be the entire first half. But it was, and give Rice credit, they were really prepared. They did a nice job. I'm so happy we won. But we didn't field a very good football team today, and we've got to get a lot better.
Coach, obviously you mentioned the slow start you guys got off to. KJ let some passes fly, sail. You think there was maybe some nerves involved? Because, I mean, obviously they had every reason to get up for this one.
Well, I think so, Trey. If you really look at it, that was really, it's his team now. And to be honest with you, I think the crowd, we didn't have it. We did, but we didn't. You know what I mean? And I think that would affect anybody. It affected me. Running through the A was a big deal and all that kind of stuff. And so I think that might have affected him. His last year was a start where he started, but he really didn't know if he was going to or not. It was all kind of up with if Felipe could play. So, yeah, I think so. I'm so glad that he had a better second half and he ran the ball, and that it's unfortunate we got a holding call on the option that he ran because that was a heck of a run. And so I think his confidence is back, but I'm certainly, I think all of us would have a little bit of nerves going into that game. And I'm so glad that we won, and we have so much that we can improve on and so much that we can, that we have to, but it sure is, we would coach them anyway, either way. But it's just nice that the kids came back, and you got to give our kids credit to that too, to come back and win and win the game.
Hey, Sam, what do you think it was that got KJ going, maybe settled into the game? And how big was that catch Tyson Morris had? Because I think he made it with one arm and had a guy all over him.
Well, I think that probably, to me, that was probably it, that he knew that he could throw to our receivers and, they'd get him. And let's face the fact, they'd catch it. Let's face the fact, early in the game, they weren't helping him either. We were dropping some passes. We had a lot of missed blocking assignments out on the edge, coming out from inside out, especially on those little quick tosses that we had. We really worked on them. I don't understand how we made that mistake, but we did. All those things are correctable. But I honestly, I think whenever he started running the ball, I believe he's a guy, when he runs the ball, he's a better thrower.
I think we all forgot that Henry got ejected last year against Alabama and wouldn't be able to play the first half. I know you guys obviously knew that, but then you got 2 linebackers ejected today. It was just a weird day to lose your top 3 linebackers for parts of the game. Just what do you think about those targeting calls and how the defense played, without Grant for most of the game?
I think the biggest, to me, the biggest play of the game was when we stopped them down here on 4th down. I thought that was about on the 20, I guess. I'm guessing where it was, 20, 25, maybe even closer. I thought that was a huge, huge play for us. But, kids are supposed to get better, and Andrew Parker did. And, to get two of our top linebackers out and already have another one. And, of course, I guess we'll get Grant back for Texas next week, and then we'll lose Bump for the first half. But it's unfortunate. We got to keep our head out of there. They've got replay, so most of the time, that's why they have replay, to get it right. And so certainly that's what they saw on replay, and it's just unfortunate. We got to keep our head out of it.
Sam, on the special teams, you still had some hiccups there in the first half. You had the block punt, the fumble on the kickoff. Of course, Austin Nix got it, so it didn't hurt you that bad. But just what did you think about the special teams? Did you see that coming? Just
Well, I told I said, Rice is kicking our butt in special teams. They were more urgent than us. They blocked a punt on us. We just missed a block on the outside. I mean, that's all it was. And but I mean, people go through games and don't get punch blocked, and we need to be those people. And we need to hold on to the ball when we return it, and all those things. There's a lot of bad stuff out there that look like, as a head coach, that it wasn't a very well coached football team, and that's me. That is nobody else. That's me, and we'll get better. But I'm so proud that we came back in the second half.
Just going back to Tyson Morris for a second, what did you think of that one-handed grab he had, and then what kind of impact do you think that had on offensive momentum moving forward?
Well, I thought it was a pretty good catch. I think the guy was on him. He only had one hand, to catch the ball with, and he did it. And I think it gave us juice. The thing, where we have to get better is, the defense, they pick a pass, and we've got the ball on the 50-yard line. We got the ball on the 50, and we give up a sack the very first time. We just have to. I mean, we're down. I think we were up 7 at the time. I mean, we can put a 2-score game, and we had to punt the ball away, and luckily we punted it to the 5-yard line, put them in a hole, and then got a pick. But
how big a factor do you think that your defensive line depth was as far as wearing them down?
Huge. And I'll say this too. I think our kids were the better of the two teams in shape. Either that or we certainly played a lot more kids than they did. I don't know, but it seemed to me like there were a lot of cramping going on, and so I thought the rotation was good. Obviously, there at the end, we have our guys that we feel like our best pass rushers out there on the field, and we have that dime package that we run with 55-5 and whomever else is on the inside, that we kind of rotate those guys a little bit, but we want 5 and 55 in a game whenever we're trying to get after the quarterback. And I thought they did a nice job.
Coach, what was the message to the team at halftime?
We just made a lot of mistakes. The one thing I learned a long time ago is you got to figure out what's really the problem, and really how big is the climb, because we as coaches, we can bury these guys, and you're down 3 to a team that you're supposed to beat, and you can bury them. Well, the bottom line is you score a touchdown and you're ahead. You know what I mean? So we talked a lot about adjustments from our coaching staff. I mean, you got to look at a mirror on things going wrong. You can't just go, well, he dropped a pass, he did this, he did that. That's coaching. I mean, we talked about running the ball up the gut. And we were trying to get the ball outside too much. They had more speed, not size, and we were running the ball outside too much. So we talked about adjusting that, run the ball right at them, get KJ involved in the run game, and that's what we did. And our defense continued. They had the one bad play that left the guy uncovered on the post route. But other than that, I thought they played really well. We had to get better on defense too now, but at least at the end of the game, we finished the game. And I mean, you can't play an entire game and only talk about the first half. You know what I'm saying? We did win 38-17. There are some good things to build on too. And we'll do both of those.
Coach, a couple players, Jalen Catalon really sparked you guys, 2 interceptions, 11 tackles at TFL. Just how important he is to this team. And then on the other side, Traylon didn't really have a Traylon type of performance. How long has he been back and practicing, and was he a little bit rusty and stuff today?
Well, I would think he would be. He came back Wednesday. He played the first 4 periods, so he did some indecent fastball starts, and then he did some routes on air. That's all we did on Wednesday with him. Then Thursday he came back and he did what is our Thursday practice, which is about an hour and 15 minutes long, and he did the entire practice. So. I just asked Dave, I said, hey, I don't care if we're playing the Green Bay Packers or Grove High School. is he healthy? And they said yes. And I said, okay, if he's healthy, we're going to play him. And he was rusty, I'm sure, and he was nerved up. And put this all in a deal. I mean, we knew about him. The nation didn't a year ago. And now all of a sudden, all these publications coming out that he's a first rounder and he's going up the deal and he's all this. And the guy hadn't practiced a whole lot. I'm sure he had a lot of pressure on him as well. I'm sure we'll see a much better Traylon Burks next week. Cat, you need your good players to play well, and that's why you asked about both those kids. And Cat did, Cat obviously had a shoulder that was beat up a little bit, but he can control that. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to go in there and hit a guy. And so we put him in green. But he's a ball player, man. Great kid. Makes plays. He reads eyes well and makes plays. And I tell you what, I really love the intersection that Mo Brown had because he cut that corner off. He drove on that ball. That was a heck of an interception too.
Coach, it may be a little tough to you look at the film, but with Grant Morgan out, did you notice any drop off? I know he's so important as far as getting people lined up right and just a big part of your defense. Did you notice anything while watching?
Well, I really didn't. Obviously we want Grant in there, but I think the biggest thing that's happened with us is we have Andrew Parker now is playing some good ball for us, and I tell you, Hayden Henry's a good player. He just wasn't able to play in the first half, and so I think we're getting better depth there. And we played, I think, those four. I'm not sure if we played Pooh or not, but I know those four played a lot.
Sam, do you have any update on Ty Clary, and how did you think about Bo Limmer coming in for him there?
Loved it. I mean, I think Bo played really well. I think the second play he was in there, he got drove a guy 5 yards, put him on his back. That's what we have a little bit more. We have a little bit more depth, and I mean, Ty's been nursing a shoulder, dinged up a little bit, and then I think he could have went back in because Coach Kennedy came and asked me about it, and I said, "Hey, Limmer's playing his butt off. Leave him in there." So I think he'll be fine.
Hey, Coach, I noticed on KJ's first run and then the one that got called back, Keytron Jackson and Tyson Morris blocking downfield so that KJ was able to be successful in those runs. How important is that to have KJ be successful with his feet, to have your wide receivers not take plays off and block downfield?
We have worked so hard on that, and we worked on it even on Wednesday. We had individual perimeter blocking. And they did a really good job. And then we got called for the holding on KJ's long run on that. We just have to, it was on a freshman, we just have to get better with that. But that's a big, big deal because, we ran a couple of just quick tosses out there and we didn't do a good job at blocking it. And those guys have really, really tried. Coaches really coached them up on blocking, and we obviously just have to keep our hands inside on the one.
Sam, you alluded to that there were some drops. Obviously, didn't help KJ passing early. But I just think he played overall, a kind of a rough start, but he seemed like he kind of settled in and then, played pretty well when you really.
Yeah, it was a bad start, but I mean, I don't know. I can't remember the score at halftime. I know I'm going to get beat up for that, but what was it? Okay, we were behind, and but so 7, and we scored 31 in the second half, and he's our quarterback, and so I thought that after it was the entire half too. I mean, we snapped the ball and hit the motion guy, and just things that guys, I swear we never did that in practice, but we did today, and the only thing I can hold that to is nerves. But we finished the game out there with the last 2 drives, and so I'm proud of him. He's going to get better. He knows. I mean, he's a smart kid. He knows he's got to play better. Hell, I got to coach better.
Rocket Sanders looked like you mentioned some guys were bouncing out, but it looked like he was trying to keep it inside, and had 7 carries for 44 yards. Do you think an increased role for him moving forward with the way he ran today?
I think so. I like 20. I like Dominique too. I mean, I do. I like him. But I think so. It was really good for him to get in there and play in a, we needed him, in a meaningful situation. I thought that was really good. And I think that'll really do something for his confidence because what'd you say, 7 for 44? Yeah, it's 6 point something to a carry. That's pretty good.
What you said post game, what you told him to wrap things up.
I just talked to him about, we had talked to him Friday. I have my team meeting on Friday. And when I talk to them, then the coordinators take them on Saturday. But I just told them that I was excited to see how we would handle adversity. And then I laughed and said I didn't want the whole first half of it. So I didn't want a whole sheet of it, But I was proud of them. And I told them anytime you win a football game, you need to be excited about it. And that's how I feel about it. The bottom line is we can be gloom and doom all we want with the 38-17 win. We can. But the bottom line is if we'd have won 45-7 or we had lost, come tomorrow, we're going to watch the tape, make the corrections, and come Monday, we're going to correct it and we're going to love our kids and we're going to get them to play better and we're going to coach better. And that's the bottom line of it. So that's kind of what I told them. And then we called the Hogs and turned the damn jukebox on. And that's it. I mean, it is what it is, guys. I mean, you got 3.5 hours to play your best ball and sometimes you don't. But in the second half, they corrected it. The kids did and the coaching staff did. And hopefully we're going to have to put a full game together against Texas, and we know that. But this may help us. This may wake us up a little bit more than we probably were. Both us and the kids. Thanks, everybody.